Hello everybody, my name is Shane. Welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk about living your life with conviction and living your life in a way that the world can actually see how God is moving in your life. But if you don't know me, if you haven't been part of this channel, my name is Shane, and I'm just passionate about us forming spiritually and growing to become more like Jesus. And if you want to be part of a community of other passionate believers who ask the hard questions, who really think deep about what the Bible has to say and about faith and how do we live this life the way that God has called us to live, then I want to invite you to be part of the community here. But today I was actually reading through the book of Deuteronomy, and I was really inspired by how one of the things that I've seen so regularly throughout the Bible is actually how God intends to reach the world. And it's actually not just through like evangelism as we normally see it, like going out in the streets and sharing the gospel. That, you know, the missionary journeys of Paul, you can see that demonstrated. But what I've seen so interesting to me over the last few years is how God actually chooses to reach people, to reach the world through the blessing on our lives, through the character of our lives, through seeing how we live our lives in a way that's different, it's counterculture, it's counterintuitive, and yet it's blessed. And you see that time and time again when you see, for example, Daniel, how he decided to take a different road. He didn't bow down to what his leaders were telling him he ought to be doing. And he, through faith, demonstrated something completely different that they had not experienced. And he really influenced this wicked nation for the gospel or for the kingdom. You know, you also have Jesus obviously talking about this, that in one of the last prayers of Jesus in the garden, Jesus prays that the disciples would be one as he is one with the Father. And he said that through your love, the world will know that you came from me, through your love for one another. And it's interesting to hear that and see even through the epistles how Paul strongly emphasizes in most of his epistles how we actually live day-to-day life. Like, how do you maintain the day-to-day boring stuff? And I just want to encourage you, like, your life, it actually influences the people around you. And Deuteronomy talks about this. And I'll read just a little bit in the beginning of Deuteronomy, but the basics of it is that it is basically a massive sermon from Moses, probably around 2.5 hours long. And he's reminding them of where they came from so that they can take possession of the land that God has given them. He says this in verse 5 of chapter 4. He says, "See, I have taught you decrees and laws as the Lord my God commanded me, so that you may follow them in the land you are entering to take possession of it. Observe them carefully, for this will show your wisdom and understanding to the nations, who will hear about all these decrees and say, 'Surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people.' What other nation is so great as to have their gods near them the way the Lord our God is near us when we pray to him? And what other nation is so great as to have such righteous decrees and laws as this body of laws I'm setting before you today?" Guys, this is such a deep little passage right here, because it basically says that God is setting this nation up in a way that if you follow what I'm telling you to follow, if you live righteously, if you obey what I've commanded you, the people around you will see and they will want to have what you have. That was God's ideal all along. It's God's idea that he would set you up amongst people that do not know him, and he will bless you because you have followed what he's called you to do. You'll live in a way that's different than the world around you. And people will say, this person prays to God, and God answers his prayers. This person is close to God, and you can see the fruit of their life. I want that God. And I just want to say that your life and how you live in the day-to-day, in the mundane and the boring, it matters so much. So don't forget that, to know that your life is a testimony and your life is a witness. So focus on what God has called you to do. Live a life of character, of conviction, because the world is watching. So I just want to encourage you with that. And I would love to hear how this impacted you, or any wisdom that you would give. How do we actually reach the world today? And maybe if I were to answer that question, I would say one of the things that the world needs today is people who, we just came through Father's Day, people who are fathers. We need fathers today. I'd love to hear what you think too. So anyways, guys, I pray this blessed you. And if you want to hear more content like this, you want to be part of it, then I want to encourage you to subscribe, be part of the channel, and connect down in the comments. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.